It's official, Adele is back. So in honor of her return, we're counting down her 5 most heartbreaking songs to date. Let's get into it.
Adele nearly broke the internet earlier this week when she released a new teaser video for her upcoming song Easy on Me, which is set to come out later this month. This came after billboards with the number 30 started showing up in cities around the world. And since Adele's previous albums have all had numbers as titles, fans suspected that 30 meant that Adele planned to have a new record out this year and soon. So while we wait for an actual album release date, we'll be passing our time crying to these next 5 heartbreaking and beautiful Adele songs. The first song on our list is Rolling in the Deep, which was inspired by Adele's own heartbreak, so it's not surprising that it hits you right in the feels. Speaking of the track, on her website back when it was released in 2011, Adele shared the song was inspired by being told that my life was going to be boring and lonely and rubbish, and that I was a weak person if I didn't stay in the relationship. She went on to add, "I was very insulted," and wrote that as a sort of you. The song became her first #1 hit in the US, collected countless awards including Grammys for Song of the Year and Record of the Year, and not to mention, still to this day, is one of the most popular breakup anthems worldwide. Unlike earlier mentioned Rolling in the Deep or fellow track off her album 21, Rumor Has It, this next song on our list was less about pushing through the heartbreak and more about just sitting in all the emotions. And that song is Someone Like You. When asked about the track, Adele laughed and told MTV, "Well, I wrote that song because I was exhausted from being such a bitch with Rolling in the Deep or Rumor Has It." She went on to share, "I was really emotionally drained from the way I was portraying him because even though I'm very bitter and regret some parts of it, he's still the most important person that's ever been in my life. And Someone Like You, I had to write it to feel okay with myself and okay with the 2 years I spent with him. And when I did it, I felt so freed." The emotional song about wishing your ex the best got Adele yet another Grammy, this time for Best Pop Solo Performance, and of course helped us all feel a little better about our last breakup. The next tear-jerking song on our list, Hello, which showed a different side of Adele, and in interviews, she even shared that it wasn't necessarily about romantic relationships, but all of the relationships she's had over the years. She even specifically shared with interviewers that it wasn't about the man she sang about in Someone Like You. When asked if it was the same person, she told ID, "Oh God, no, that's over and done with, thank f***. That's been over and done with for f***ing years." She went on to say, "No, it's not about anyone specifically. It's about friends, ex-boyfriends. It's about myself. It's about my family. It's about my fans as well." The song broke records across the world, got Adele another Grammy for Record of the Year, and broke hearts and maybe even glass as we tried to hit the high notes. According to Rolling Stone, while working on the next song on our list, Chasing Pavements, Adele discovered that her boyfriend was cheating on her. So, before creating the beautiful ballad we all get to cry to till this day, she let out a bit of anger. She told the magazine, "I went to the pub where he was and punched him in the face." She added, "I got thrown out, and as I was running away, the phrase chasing pavements came to me." And so the story goes. We got a ballad to cry to, her ex got a punch in the face, and Adele got the Grammy for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. In our 5th song, When We Were Young, Adele reminisces nostalgically on past lost love that was, quote, "just like a movie and just like a song. And if that doesn't break your heart, nothing will." Chatting to SiriusXM, Adele shared the inspiration behind the track, saying, "It was based on us being older and being at a party at this house and seeing everyone that you've ever fallen out with, everyone that you've ever loved, everyone that you've never loved." She went on to say, "You're all thrown together at this party when you're like 50 and it doesn't matter and you have so much fun and you feel like you're 15 again. So that's the kind of vibe of it really." So what will the vibe be for Adele's next album? We'll keep you guys posted, but in the meantime, we'll keep our tissues handy.
And for more on Adele, click right over here for another Clevver video. Then be sure to let me know which of Adele's heartbreaking songs is your favorite, or if there was another that should have been on this list in the comments section below. I'm your host, Sussan Mourad. You can find me on socials at Sussan_Mourad. I'll catch you later. Bye guys.